Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. That's it for today's video. Beer's courtesy of Ross. Thank you so much, Ross, man. I really appreciate it. If you've been watching my channel and these Revolution barrel-aged beers, basically each one has blown my mind. And I expect this one to also blow my mind. It is Supermassive Cafe Deth. Yes, it's pronounced Deth, not Death, like I always thought. So if you think it's Cafe Deth, or like, Death's Tar, you're not alone, but it actually is Deth, rhymes with teeth. Proudly created with dark matter coffee, and it is 14.3% ABV, imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels steeped with coffee. Inspired in part by a disconcertingly large gravitational singularity at the center of our galaxy, we devised Supermassive Cafe Deth to be the midpoint of a theoretical bourbon barrel-aged stout coffee continuum. After a painstaking 18 months of aging, this slightly sweet blend of Deth's tar meets its cosmic binary in the form of freshly roasted dark matter coffee to the tune of 10 pounds per oak barrel. Enjoy immediately or store cold. It is the end of June, so had July, August. We're like halfway through September, so like 2.5 months. So it's both fresh and it's been sitting in my beer fridge, so it's been cool as well. So should be great. I'm super excited for this. Like I said, they've all blown my mind. I love coffee. I love big stouts aged in bourbon barrels. So I think I'm like definitely being set up to really enjoy this beer. All right, so yeah, that's really dark. This validates some recent beer reviews I've done where I'm like, yeah, it's not quite motor oil. There's still like a decent amount of brown mixed in with black. This one's very black. This is much closer to motor oil. The head is this beautiful mocha color, almost like a mocha caramel thing. Not a ton of head. It's sticking to the side glass more than the center, but there is still a little bit on the top. Small bubbles. But yeah, being given the ABV, the fact that it has an adjunct, I'm not, super surprised that it's not some, huge head on it. Let's get into the aroma. Wow. Yeah, it smells really good. I get the coffee first, and that's why I went back in to see if there's any like beer smell in there, not just the coffee. Definitely a nice, somewhat like freshly ground coffee. It doesn't smell as much, at least to me, as like brewed coffee or cold, like hot brewed, drip, whatever, French press, cold brew. It really is like you ground up coffee beans. But then there is this sweetness that comes through. Nice caramel and vanilla. I don't get any coconut from the barrel. That would have been cool, but maybe in the taste. But like, I'm not getting that, but I'm getting vanilla and caramel. You can get a little bit of that bourbon. I'm not getting oak, which this was aged for a while, so maybe in the taste I'll get a little bit of oak. The coffee is definitely, not that the beer needs help, but like the coffee is definitely helping some dark chocolate come through, but it's not much. I mean, it is very, do not misunderstand me, it is very coffee forward. It's a super pleasant smell. Like, it smells really good, and I think it has a good enough level of sweetness to balance, at least in the aroma, to balance out the intense coffee, freshly ground coffee vibe. I think the taste is going to have all that stuff I just said and more, but there's only one way to find out. Cheers. Thanks again, Ross. Yep, I was not wrong. Great level of coffee, but you do get more chocolate in the taste, but still coffee forward. I get some of that vanilla, I get some of that caramel. There's a wonderful level of sweetness, but there is enough of a drying characteristic that's not cloyingly sweet. It doesn't, scream pastry stout or anything like that. Even desserty stout, really. But it does have a nice level of sweetness to it. Bourbon definitely comes through in a nice way. I'm getting a little bit of warmth in the chest and not getting any of the actual alcohol in the taste, so that's awesome. And yeah, definitely, I mean, that, without being distracting, there is a lot of coffee in this. Now the aroma, I didn't like make a pie chart about it, but the aroma was probably somewhere like in the 80%, 80s coffee. And then everything else I said was there, but blown out of the water by the coffee. For the taste, it still might be like half the experience is either specifically coffee or coffee is pairing with something else. Like it'd be impossible. Like if you did this beer blind, like I don't know how you couldn't mention coffee or think like the roast was somehow magically intense enough that you were getting specifically coffee. But again, yeah, that level of sweetness is nice, but there is some dryness. I was thinking with the dryness, maybe I'd get some of the oak. I haven't gotten oak specifically yet, aroma or taste. There's a nice dark fruit berry thing in there too, for sure. The vanilla note, vanillin, is good. Maybe even a kiss of cherry. You can see why they do the cherry version. I got one above me. I mean, or vanilla or whatever. Like it's so interesting. Like you have the base in the bourbon barrels, and then like you get some of these notes, and then you add the actual adjunct that note was making you think of, and you can really even with all the coffee going on, you can see why when they tasted this, the base, and this would be years ago, thought to themselves to do these different versions of it. Maybe I'm assuming too much, but I would think that'd be part of the process, because man, like it just makes sense, because you do get these little pieces of it to up it with the actual adjuncts. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble, so I know it's time to wrap this up. This is really good. I will say this: the other ones like blowing my mind. I do like some of the other ones better that I've been having, and I have a bunch of barley wine still to get to from them. So like, there's more to come. This one, I'll put it this way: if I hadn't had those other ones, like this was the first one I had, this probably would be me being like, "Oh my god, this is blowing my mind." But because I know the level that these guys are cranking out bourbon barrel aged beers, it's like, yeah, this is what they do, and it's delicious. So so please forgive me not being like, this is mind blowing. Those other ones did blow my mind more than this. But anyway, if you had this beer before, have you had other ones? Do you want to just talk about how it's actually pronounced Deth? And it doesn't matter to me, because comments help the algorithm. So even if you want to contradict me, that's cool. Anything, everything, comment section below. Let's get a conversation going. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untappd. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.